What's going on, FMFAM? It's yours truly, Fluffy. Alright. Something I want to talk about, being that the tax season is coming up and we have a bunch of new mechanics on the channel, mechanics in general, and what's better than writing off your expensive toolboxes and tools and stuff like that, right? Well, I'm here to tell you something, okay? Personal experiences and the stuff I went through for the past 2 years because of this tool tax write-off or tool deduction, tool tax deduction, or whatever you want to call it. So if this is something you're interested in, please stick around because it is story time. Okay, so as y'all know, I do a whole hell of a lot of spending on tools. I'm not even a used car tech guy. I'm not a guy that works on all makes and models as far as independent shops and stuff like that. I am a Nissan specific brand tech, a master tech at that. So a bunch of the tools I have or own are to Nissans, or are what I need to work on Nissans. Or I'll buy a tool to, hell, I don't know. Back then, it would cost a good amount of money. It looked good. It would look nice. And I wanted it. Why? Because I was under the impression that I can write this tool off. Now, let me find. I feel like I'm sitting a little too high. Now, I had been going to the same tax preparer, okay, since 2010. Okay, she'd been preparing my taxes for the longest time, and then when Trump came into office, right, in 2016 or 17, I can't remember exactly, and we were supposed to get more taxes back, right? They were supposed to lower the middle class taxing, right? Well, when he did that, he disabled our ability in 2018, disabled our ability to write off fuel, to write off tools, to write off clothes, to write off meals at work, and anything you spend for your job. Okay, he hurt the blue collar workers. Now, not trying to get into politics, but that was one thing that Trump did to us, okay, construction workers and blue collar workers, that we can no longer do unless we fall into a certain category, okay? And I'll get to that in a moment. Go. So be aware when you're writing off your writing off tools. Okay, if you own a business or you get paid through 1099, certain circumstances you're allowed to do so. Okay, so like YouTubers, we get paid through 1099 through Google. So anything we use for our channels, we are able to write off. Now, don't think just because it's a write-off you get that whole money back. I believe you'd get what's taxed. Okay, the taxes on those purchases or the taxes on those items that you're writing off. So if you're writing off a $500 camera, right? The taxes in that, you're looking at $80 maybe. Okay, that's gonna come back to you. The whole point is taxes. That's the whole point of it. When it comes to tools, like I said, I used to buy a shitload, right? And I used to do this because I was like, oh well, I'll get some of the money back in the long run, right? Wanted to make my taxes look as big as they were, right? I wanted to write off 16,000, 10,000, 15,000. Okay, the whole goal was to spend, I believe it was, don't beat me up over these numbers. but I think it had to be 7% of your income. If it was greater than 10% or 7% of your income, you were able to write it off. Well, what I later learned, that it had to be greater than the standardized deduction. Okay, guys, we get a tax break. Okay, I think this year was $15,000. Usually it's 12.5. Okay, $12,500. If the total amount you spent on whatever came out to a number greater than that, then yeah, it was in your best interest to write that off. Okay, the last couple years that I wrote stuff off, I wrote off a $22,000 tool bill, and I wrote off a $23,000 tool bill. Okay, that's when I purchased my boxes. I purchased my pops a box for his house. Okay, a roll cart. I purchased that. Okay, I wrote that off. I purchased a toolbox for my house. Okay, I wrote that off. I purchased 2 boxes for the shop. Okay, in 1 year, I wrote both of those off. Okay, those were items that were paid off that year. And then of course I claimed this box. Okay, I claimed what I spent on the box, not how much the box was. I claimed what I spent, okay, throughout the year, paying my payments and stuff like that. Okay, so with that being said, I also wrote off my consult because I had to purchase the VI, the vehicle interface, and the card to be able to program our keys. I wrote that off. Okay, these were 2 of the biggest years that I wrote stuff off, and I was unaware that at the end of 2018 was the last year we got to be able to write stuff off as a blue collar worker working on a W-2 or for somebody. In 2019, okay, the tax year 2019 for 2018, when the big pandemic hit, okay, that year when you filed in 2019, that was it, done. You couldn't no longer do that. My tax lady told me, oh, because of your profession, you'll still be able to do it. Okay, I don't know any better. I didn't know any better. That's why I had somebody doing my taxes that supposedly knew the system. So everything's fine and dandy, right? I get my cool, you know, $4,000 to $5,000 tax check. Then the following year, I get another cool $5,000 to $6,000 tax check. So in 19 and 20, the tax years 19 and 20, I got hit, and I got hit hard. October of 21, I received a letter from the IRS. Mr. So-and-so, we need you to send in documentation that you are this, that, and the other. In this form, have it right here. It says, for use only by armed forces reservists, qualified performing artists. Pay attention to what I said right there. Qualified performing artists, fee-based state or local government officials, employees with impaired related work expenses. Okay. Now I'm going to add a screenshot of what that year's came out to with column A and column B. Okay, that totaled up to $2,200 or $22,900 in write-offs. Okay, do your taxes on that. I got a good chunk back, and I was happy. I was like, man, it took a lot to spend, but I got a lot back. Okay, I was able to do a lot of stuff with that money. So like I said, I got it wasn't necessarily an audit. It was like a self-audit, I guess you would say. If I could find the papers to it, I'll screenshot it also and show y'all. But it wanted me to send in proof of me being one of those. Well, when I received the letter, I called my lady. Yes, ma'am. I got a thing in the letter from the IRS and that they want me to send in some proof. Right away, defensive. Oh, I only claimed what you wanted me to claim. I go based off of the trust off of what did she call it? The trust system. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I have no issue with that. I have all my receipts. I can prove everything. On my butt, up top it says for this. Y'all know what she told me? She said, "Oh, you're okay. Just bring in all your receipts and we'll send it through. There should be no problem because you're an auto tech. That is an art. You fall under performing artist." I said, lady, what? Oh, hell no. At that point, I said, nope, I'm done with you. But I played it off. I was like, oh, okay, I'll swing by later on today. But in my head, I was like, oh, no, man. Oh, hell no. And I'm only coming to y'all about this because I don't want anybody else to make this mistake. And I verified through looking it up and going on the IRS website, which y'all can do also, irs.gov. And look up deductions, and it tells you in black and white. There's videos out there that say same thing, black and white. So for 7 years we were unable to do that, and we still are. So in 2025, I think that's last year, we can't, and in 2026 we'll be able to write off deductions again. So yeah, the form, and y'all, if y'all don't believe me, well, y'all can check it out for yourselves. Okay, look up employee business expenses form 2106, and y'all will see exactly what I'm talking about. It's crazy, man. It is definitely crazy. And I got hit with this in 2000. Let me see, 2000. So in 2020 I received that form. So then in 2020, no, I'm sorry, in 2021 I received that form. Okay, so in 2022, last year, all my taxes got garnished. Okay, they got garnished and I had to pay the remainder back to the IRS. This past year, in the beginning of October, so in 2022, October 2022, I received another form. As soon as I saw the envelope, I was like, damn, okay, I already knew this was gonna happen. I received the form. Now again, I already did my taxes. Thank goodness though, thank goodness that I started getting paid on YouTube. And I had a bunch of crypto that I traded in, and I took a major loss on. Okay, so I lost a lot of money through crypto, and I lost money, you know, donations, sending people money on YouTube, doing giveaways and purchasing tools for YouTube. Okay, y'all see the Milwaukees I use on YouTube because YouTube wanted me to use Milwaukee. Okay, when we do the live streams, all my equipment at the house, that's a write-off. Okay, certain circumstances, right? Like I said, 1099, if you get 1099s, you can write off 1099s. If you are a W2, W4, you cannot. Okay guys, we cannot write off job related expenses when you are working as an employee for somebody. All y'all new technicians, that's what we used to hear, right? We used to hear that back in the day. Oh, we could write this off, write that off. It ain't no big deal. We're not a business owner. We can't write it off. We're not special force reservists. We can't write it off. So basically, if you're working for the reserves, this is what I take from it. If you're working for the reserves in a trade career or something like that, you're allowed to write it off. So if I was in the reserves, if I was Army Reserve working in this field and I had to purchase my own tools, damn straight I would be writing this stuff off. Performing artists, you know, y'all know what those are. Singers, actors, I don't know if athletes count. And state or local government officials. That says it right there. What else? What else do we got? Oh yeah, disabled employees. I'm not disabled. Although I would like to think that I'm sick in the head, but
Nah, I don't believe.
I could joke about it now because, you know, guys, once that happened to me, I completely stopped going to that lady. I started doing my own taxes. Even when I wrote off this past year's taxes. I did it myself. It's not that difficult. It's a lot of typing because I gotta, you know, show transactions, say who I'm buying from or where I bought it from, list the item, and list how much I bought it for. And of course, I had to download all the PDFs, download PDF styles, and save them, all the receipts, all that stuff. So yeah, guys, don't get tricked into people saying you can write off tools, because you definitely cannot. I've talked to several tax preparers, and they say the same thing. You cannot. There's absolutely no way. So yeah, happy tax season. I hope y'all have kids to be able to make up for that, because you can write that off. Insurance bills, you can write off insurance bills. But as far as tools and meals and gas and car repairs and stuff like that, nah, nope, no sir. So if I've missed anything, if y'all want to ask me anything, like I said, this is based off of my experience and what I have learned throughout this last year's audit. It hit me like a freight train. I was scared. I didn't know what to do. But yeah, audits suck. I'm not gonna lie. But if you know you did nothing wrong, okay. And now let me tell y'all, ignorance is not an excuse in the eyes of the law. So for me being ignorant and not reading that paper, you know, I had the opportunity to sit there with that lady and read off everything. Okay, I could have read. I signed that everything was correct in my filing. And she was an LLC, so you know, LLCs, you can't really do much about that. Or believe me, I would have. But yes, guys, happy tax season. Don't get too carried away on buying tools. How are people working? I'm the only one that stays working this late. But yeah, don't get too carried away buying tools. And there are some places that give tool allowance since this happened. Hell, my employer was unaware that we weren't able to claim tools, and he's like, man, how are y'all even doing it? Well, we got to do what we got to do, right? It takes money to make money. But all right, guys, I'm gonna catch y'all later. Hope y'all enjoyed this video. We'll catch y'all on the next one. Don't forget, I got a couple videos right here. Subscribe right there if you haven't already. Deuce.
I'm from that deuce down, that countdown, that 210, yeah, that's A-Town. A lot of black and browns on joke clowns, and we stay strapped on every side of town. Sit big mo as we blaze up. 92 to 2010 plus, I never will, I never gave a fuck.